has infinite wisdom and cannot contradict himself, we must ask, does God have two Qur'ans if the system of abrogation is valid? We ask again, what does one do with this emphatic declaration in Surah Al-An'am 34? وَلَا مُبَدِّلٌ لِكَلِمَةِ اللَّهِ. And there is no changing or altering to the declaration or decisions of Allah. Muslims claim that the Quran was originally written on tablets preserved in heaven. This concept, however, is clearly borrowed from the Bible, because Exodus 32:16 tells us, now the tablets were the work of God, and the writing was the writing of God, engraved on the tablets. Muhammad professed to have a revelation through Gabriel when it suited his purpose. Many students believe, students of the life of Muhammad, messages came from heaven, were given to justify his political and moral conduct, as well as much of his religious precepts. Battles were fought, wholesale executions inflicted, wives added, and territories annexed under the pretext of the Almighty's command. Now, I want to challenge you. Mistakes in the Arabic of the Quran. You say you speak Arabic. Let's find out. Muslims believe that the Arabic Quran is the perfect, exact representation of Allah's word. That is why only the Arabic Quran is considered authoritative, and why so many Muslims who know no Arabic still feel a compulsion to memorize portions of the Quran in Arabic, although they cannot speak it and communicate with you. However, Muhammad used a number of foreign words or phrases in the Quran, leaving questioners wondering if God's language is deficient enough to need help from other languages. An orator demonstrates his speaking abilities by not borrowing expressions from other languages. How then do we have the opposite in a book which God himself is supposed to have inspired in Arabic? Foreign words. Pharaoh comes from the Egyptian language. Adam from the Akkadian language. Basharan should have been the word, or insan, which are the Arabic words. Ibrahim comes from the Assyrian. A more accurate word will be Abu Rahim. From Persian, we have Harut, Marut, Sirat, Hur, Jan, Firdaus. From Syria, Tabut, Taghut, Malakut, Zakat. From Hebrew, Habir, Sakina, Jahannam, Ma'un. From Greek, Injil, which means Bishara, good news. That is not all. Here is the Arabic Quran with words from Egyptian, Akkadian, Assyrian, Persian, Syriac, Hebrew, Greek, 7 languages. An Arabic reader is astounded also at the obvious mistakes in the following surahs. First, Surah Al-Baqarah 177. The word Sabirin should have been Sabirun, if you know Arabic. Then again, Surah Al-A'raf 160. وَقَطَعْنَاهُمْ إِثْنَتَيْ عَشَرَةَ أَسْبَاطًا should have been إِثْنَتَيْ عَشَرَ سِبْطًا. Surah Al-Nisa 162. وَالْمُقِيمِينَ الصَّلَاةِ should have been وَالْمُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةِ. Then Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 69. As-Sabi'in is the more correct Arabic than As-Sabi'un. Then At-Tawbah فَإِذَا انْسَلَخَ الْأَشْهُرُ الْحَرَامِ should have been فَإِذَا انْسَلَخ, plural. The words kun fayakun are a gross error in Arabic. The grammatical structure demands kun fakan, let there be and there was, not there shall be, as in the Quran. Yes, sir. Going forward, Abraham's father is wrongly called Azar in the Quran. At Surah Al-An'am, verse 74. The Bible, however, which is much earlier than the Quran, names him correctly Tarah. Abraham, summary of the Quranic errors concerning Abraham. Abraham didn't have 2 sons, he had 8. Genesis 25. Not 2 wives, but 3. He did not raise his descendants in the valley of Mecca, but in Hebron, which is called by his name in Arabic to this day, Al-Khalil, the friend of God, according to Isaiah 41:8 and Genesis. Genesis 11 discloses that his hometown was Ur in Chaldea, not Mecca. He wandered through Haran, as Genesis 11 recounts, not Arabia. He went to Canaan, as God instructed him in Genesis, not to Mecca's valley. there is no record that Abraham and Ishmael went to Arabia and built the Kaaba in Mecca, although he did spend several years in Egypt. In Surah al-Saffat, those who set the ranks, verse 100 to 112, we read of Abraham's sacrifice of his son. But which son? The Bible states it was Isaac, Genesis 22, yet the Quran intimates it was Ishmael. The Arabs have considered Abraham as their earliest father through Hagar, Abraham's second wife, and Ishmael his firstborn son. As for Mr. Deedat's question, my roots go back to Joktan Kahtan, who is the father of most of the people of Saudi Arabia. However, historically, the first father of the Arabs is this one, mentioned in Genesis 10:25. His name Kahtan in Arabic, Joktan in English. The names of some of his sons are reflected in geographical locations in Arabia, such as Sheba, Hazarmut, Ophir, Havila, until this very day. A third strain came from Abraham's nephew Lot, whose two daughters gave birth to the Nabateans, to the Moabites, and the Ammonites. A fourth strain came from Jacob's twin brother, Esau, according to Genesis 36. Finally, and most people forget this strain, Keturah, whom Abraham married after Sarah's death, gave birth to 6 more sons, who also became forefathers of more Arab tribes. Therefore, Abraham was only one out of 5 of the forefathers of our people. The savage struggle that's going on between the children of Ishmael and the descendants of Isaac has caused many to wonder. Instead of the blessing of Abraham, there seems to be bloodshed. We read in Galatians 3:16 that it is neither Isaac nor Ishmael who are to bless the world, but Messiah Jesus, as Galatians 3:16 affirms, now to Abraham and his seed, where the promise is made, he does not say, and to the seeds, as of many, but as of one, and to your seed, who is Christ. Ishmael too, we see promises made to him. Listen to this fantastic truth. And Abraham said to God, Genesis 17:18, oh, that Ishmael might live before you. Then God said, no, Sarah, your wife, shall bear you a son, and you shall call his name Isaac. I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his descendants after him. God's promises to Ishmael, one is mystified at the precise fulfillment of the 4 promises made to the Arabs by God through Ishmael, even in our very day. And as for Ishmael, I have heard you. Behold, I have blessed him, will make him fruitful, will multiply him exceedingly. He shall beget 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac. First, with 3/4 of the free world's oil reserves, the Arabs believe they are definitely blessed. Second, there are 174 million Arabs as of 1987. As I said earlier, 14 million of them claim Christianity, according to Women Institute. Third, he shall beget 12 princes. We have practically twice that many Arab nations today. Fourth, I will make him a great nation, was fulfilled when the Muslim empire became a reality from the 7th to the 12th century. Moses. Listen to this. The Quran says, baby Moses was adopted by Pharaoh's wife. The Holy Bible says Moses was adopted by Pharaoh's daughter. The Quran calls Haman a friend of Pharaoh. The Bible places Haman 1,000 years later in the book of Esther. Third, the Quran says God appeared to Moses in the fire in the valley of Tuwa. The Bible says it was on Mount Horeb, Exodus 3:1. Fourth, the Quran says the golden calf worshipped by the Israelites in the wilderness was molded by a Samaritan. The Bible says Aaron made the golden calf, Exodus 32, 2-4. In fact, the term Samaritan was not used until 722 BC. 5. The Quran says the cow sacrificed by Moses was yellow. The Bible says it was red in Numbers 19, 1-2. These are just a few of the contradictions between the Quran and the Old Testament. Now, Mary, the mother of Jesus, one of the most erroneous errors in the Quran is the reference to Mary, the mother of Jesus, as the sister of Aaron, her identity seems to be irrevocably confused. The investigation taken up in Surah Maryam 19:28 says, يا أخت هارون ما كان أبوك امرا سويا وما كانت أمك بغيا. The Mary of the Quran depicted as the